connected in the holographic universe. Reality becomes a 3D projection. Let's replace reflector with atom. So you have the Fa, the atom. So the Fa is Eva and the atom is Adam. Atom has two parts, a male and a female part, Isis and Osiris. So what's the story? Let's recapitulate. You have the atom, you have the Fa, then you have the snake, and of course you have the apple. Let's compare that with a clock. So you have the mechanism, the atom, the battery, the Fa, the clock face is the apple, the pattern of the movement is the snake. Let's say that the clock face is damaged. That would alter the movement of the snake. Imagine a perfectly calibrated counter-rotating mechanism. Would this have been Eden? Then its orbit gets disturbed. That causes it to wobble. That creates the Apep pattern. So what's the story? Well, there is no story. This painting is just showing how it is. The atom, the Fa, and the disturbed snake pattern, symbolized by the apple. But religion, of course, had to blame someone. You have God, a disobedient humanity, and of course, women. Religion is always blaming women. Well, in a way, I did the same. I was looking to blame something. And in a way, it is the Solomon star, but only because it is malfunctioning. So you have the Solomon system and the organic system. Skew it to the right, skew it to the left, fast forward in a 2D system. Take a look in a 3D system. What if the cell division was a consequence of the fall of man? What if the organic system is a deviation of perfection? If we were a deviation on a walnut tree, we would be aborted. That is called natural selection. But if we are part of a bigger system, that's impossible. Maybe the collective is trying some kind of shock therapy. Put the system in a shock, and while it is in a shock, it might remember its original status. So, if I'm playing the devil's advocate again, all the 9/11 events might be a way to waken us up. It looks like they are getting desperate, because the events are happening faster and faster. It's like trying to wake an alcoholic. If you try to take away the bottle, the alcoholic will see you as a threat. How do we get out of this? Let's take the moment you die. You go to hell, you go to heaven, you see Jesus, you see Lucifer, your favorite dog, your granddad. But the problem is, there is still an observer. So you are still in the matrix. Let's say there is a moment you say, hey, I'm out of the matrix. Well, the fact you are saying it means you're still in it, because you need an observer, and a part of the matrix is the observer. Let's say that the matrix was supposed to be a mirror funhouse, but it got out of balance. It started to make this 8 form. You start in a cell in the water, make an 8 form and die. And then you start all over again, in the water, in the cell, start of the reincarnation cycle. Take all the DNA, put it in a spaceship, make a wormhole, go to the past and start all over again. So in my view, the fall of man was the start of the cell division, the reincarnation cycle, and finally death. But how do we get out? Do you want to get out? Because when you're out, you are void. Well, the only way to get out is when an external force decides to pull you out. And that would be God, but the real God, and not the force pretending to be God. So what are we doing here? And what is the cause of the fall of man? If the white sun is a white hole, something could have come out of it and disturbed the pattern of the counter-rotating mechanism. Now there are 2 possibilities. One, this object smashed our planet out of its orbit. Or the second option is, this object is still here, and it is bringing our energy field out of balance. Let's go back to the atom. The atom has 2 parts, the Isis and the Osiris. The Osiris is the Or-Isis, the mirror of Isis. That means you have the observer, Isis, and the observed, Osiris. Now in 1700 you have the rise of the machines. Now a new mirror is created, the TV screen. Now the question is, can you change Isis by changing Osiris? In other words, can you change reality by changing the reality on the TV screen? Let's explain it in another way. So you have Isis and her mirror image, Or-Isis. Whenever Isis makes a move, Or-Isis will follow. That is what the mirror image does. Let's do the impossible. Move the mirror image first. The question is, will Isis follow? Will the object follow its mirror image? If it does, you have inverted the system. If the magic mirror machine is showing the climate is changing, will the observer manifest this reality? I think it will. So whatever controls the mirror machine controls reality. So what is the fall of man? We were the Ka, building our paradise, the Ba. But some entity took over the Ba and pretended to be the Ka, the God. So now we have become the Ba, the Believers, creating the world of the parasite. And slowly we become one of them. Time to break the spell.